Knight 2 on 1-8, good luck. Okay, we're just playing a normal advanced carol. 7,000 games of rapid for my opponent. That's a lot of rapid chess. Okay, how do I want to do this? You're trying to stop white playing e6 in pretty much every carol. Okay. h6 back and trade. Unless he goes h4, g5 route, he might do. Let's drop back. Try not to play too quickly. Now, how do I develop here? c5 will be a move. I don't have bishop up because he's taken with the knight. I'm going to play a knight here, and then I can maybe bring the other knight across, and we've still got a potential to push the c5 pawn. We could still potentially do that now. Queen up might be a move. I've got bishop here to go here as well. Challenge this bishop. He might encourage a move like f4. He might castle. I can play knight up, knight across again. Depends how aggressive he wants to go. He might go f4, f5. I'm just going to play a bishop up, play a slow, kind of waiting move, but a potential bishop g5. So he's played queen up, so he might want to go queen side then. So bishop up, f4, I can at least throw a check in. If he doesn't f4, I can trade, but he might take with a pawn to open the file. I'm still looking at actually c5 then. Yeah, I'm going to play c5 and try and open the file up. Just to activate the rook, put some pressure on if we can. Okay. Now, is there a chance to do something like this? I don't think so. Knight takes, pawn up. I guess you just castle. I'm going to play rook across and maybe pawn up should he counter. It depends how aggressive my opponent wants to be here. Makes it more difficult to castle queen side, of course. Well, he has indeed castled, so we can try and at least take a pawn back. I think that makes sense. After we trade everything, we might get a knight jumping in, could be annoying. Take, knight down. I can't really stop this. It might be worth playing a holding move for one move. And see if he goes really bold with this. I'm going to do that. I can always still play b6, potentially. I'm just trying to cover this move. I might be able to play queen up to charge this. It depends, like I say, how aggressive he wants to be and does he want to fly everything down the board. But I've not castled yet, so I don't have to go king side. Queen up might be a potential move, just to gently pressure the pawn. Let's get the cursor off the board, see what my opponent does. Okay, he has shuffled across. I think it's okay to take back now, so I'm going to. I guess that's a safe pre-move, although you don't really need to pre-move anything in rapid chess. But if he takes back with either piece, I'm going to take back with a bishop, aren't I? So I might as well. Again, if he takes there, I'm going to take back. So it's a case of where do I want to put my king now? Knight up. He might play a move like f4, or he just attacks the rook. So rook back is very natural. Rook up. Might walk into some ideas like this. And I've blundered that knight check anyhow, haven't I? So it's a case of do I go here now and stay there? I'm going to go here, so check. I've got the option to sack the rook. I might actually do that. Yeah, I don't like the look of moving the king, so I'm going to sack there. I'm going to try and do this in castle and hope I can survive an exchange down. Pawn forward is obviously a natural move and I can't really deal with it. I'll have to play knight up and hope I can take. Then get castled before he can take the knight. If he doesn't c4 now though, b5 to try and restrict it. And it would open his king and he hasn't done it. He sacked the pawn. That's probably a very good sacrifice, isn't it? What can I do? Knight here down. Pawn up is pretty forced. But a free pawn is probably a poison pawn. Either rook across. Maybe queen back. I'm going to take it. I think I kind of have to take it. Can I play queen back here to guard? I'm not sure. Or maybe queen here, knight f6. As long as I can get castled, we have half a chance to survive. But opponent's very attacking here. Playing this pretty well. So we could be in difficulty here. c4, I think I still probably play knight e7, but I could maybe take with the queen. It's going to be very difficult to battle on in a queenless endgame and exchange down, especially with lots and lots of time for my opponent. I wonder if he's just looking at the rook take straight away. I think that gives me a development move though. That's what he's gone for. So which is the right square? If I go here, I'm threatening to actually capture the rook two ways. If I go to f6, it feels more solid because I'm closing this file down. But I think I need to move the knight probably to f6, but can he blast round? I don't think so. Pawn down I'll have to take anyway. So I'm favouring this to try and castle. With a view, if rook comes across, I'm taking pressure off this back pawn. He might just have a simple move like queen across, but I think I could take. I think I could. I'm going to go here and attack the rook. Obviously, I'm just trying to get castled now. But if the queen comes off, it's probably losing for me. We've got an extra pawn, but going to be difficult with just the knight versus rook. But queen across, what can we do? I think we'd have knight takes rook if he played queen across now. Rook check, I think I can take. Well, I'd have to take, wouldn't I? Rook check, king takes. The other rook check, king across. Feels like it's okay. Castle, this might happen anyway. It might blast open. Yeah, I've maybe played this slightly too quickly. My opponent's using their time a little bit wiser, I think, here. Yeah, he has played rook back, actually, so at least I can castle. But is he going to go for some spectacular sacrifice? I don't want to take this pawn, even though it's capturable now, but I think we just end up in one of them endgames, like I say, where I don't have any real counterplay. So I'm just going to castle there and try and activate the rook and put some pressure on, if possible. Knight might be able to jump into the middle now that the king's not in the centre of the board. But yeah, he might want rid of these two pawns just to simply open the file up. And equally, it's going to be hard work for me to sack these. He does protect it, so rook across. Or we can go pawn up, or we can centralise the knight. Might be worth centralising the knight. But equally, could be worth activating the rook. Yeah, I'm going to activate the rook, I think. Actually, should I? The knight could be really useful in the centre. c4 is very risky. Knight's not doing quite so much here, is it? I'm actually going to play knight across. It kind of restricts this file, at least for now. Then I can try and combine it with the rook in a bit, but the rook's still guarding this pawn should he come across. Knight's not threatening anything right now, but maybe if we can jump across with the queen on the right square. Excuse me. Okay, we've got a couple of minutes on the clock. We need to slow our play down here now, unless it's relatively forced moves. And what's he looking at? Oh, he has indeed pushed forward there. I didn't expect that. That's weakening his king's position, I think. Now, is knight up a move here to hit the rook with a view to a queen check? Knight up, if he comes up, there's actually a check and we can win the rook. Knight up attacks the pawn and attacks the rook. If he goes here, we can check, and he's covered the check threat. Knight here, and he's probably fine. Maybe then rook across. So see, if I go forward, there's no obvious path to come back. Very committal. But I can go here as well. And I've still got a path back. That's probably the safer route. That at least does create a basic threat because it allows a check. And if that rook were to wander forward, then this rook hangs. But it's very committal. Probably a blunder. I guess you can go there as well, can't you? I'm just going to go here and potentially drop back to c6 and maybe try and activate the rook. I've got no queen check right now. Pressure on the pawn, but yeah, he's opened his king's defences up a little bit here. Whether we can exploit him is another matter. Yeah, rook across, very attacking. So I'm probably going to drop back here, I would think. Then at least I've got a check threat. I stop that pawn push in one go. Queen's not easy to attack. So I think that's a common sense move. I've got a check threat now, followed by a potential knight check. There's no smothered mate threat though, even here, because the queen covers the final square. So he has gone for the trade threat, so I'm going to throw the queen check in. I say there's no smothered mate threat though, because his queen covers the final square. So probably knight back. I could maybe advance the pawn with tempo, but it feels unnecessary and weakening. So check. He has to come there. Actually, have I got knight check here and I win an exchange back? He might have gone wrong. But I had the pawn there as well, didn't I? If I didn't go at the corner. I might have won the exchange back. I might be better now. Check here. Obviously, the smothered mate, he goes back. Queen check, rook takes. There's no smothered mate. But check and then here. It's going to win an exchange back, isn't it? Now let's do that. I think we've won an exchange back. Worst case, I can always just bail out and come back here. But if I check here, queen blocks. I'm fine to take a rook, even if you take my queen. Or I can take the queen, you take, knight takes here. It's whether I'm getting trapped. I'm going to check and hit the two rooks here. I think I just take, and then I'm up a piece. It might be a temporary piece, it might be trapped, but... Okay, so which rook do we take? I've got to take a rook, don't I? So I'll take that one. And now I'm going to activate my rook. So now we're suddenly a pawn up. Okay, so now maybe queen up and put pressure on. Centralize the queen, just put gentle pressure on. Maybe we can advance at the right moment. The more he advances, the more difficult it should be to defend. Queen down to threaten to just trade the queen could be good for me now. But it's a bit easier for opponent to play. So what's wrong with queen up to hit the pawn? Rook down. I don't see the back rank threat. So I'm going to offer the queen trade, and we're just a pawn up, so we should be marginally better, if not plain better. Yeah, queen across, not surprising. So can I do rook up and then pawn up? Can I go here now to threaten this pawn? How does he defend his pawns? He doesn't have rook here now. So queen here. I'm going to do that now and attack the pawn. He doesn't have rook across. Queen across. And his queen's away from the defense of the rook. So he's had to offer the trade. Now, is there a nasty rook takes pawn here? He just takes, doesn't he? So it doesn't work. Take here. Run my king across and I should be better. So I'm going to do it. Just try and get my king across. And try and push one of my pawns in the middle, I think. I could push this pawn up too and try and create that majority, but I've got a passed pawn anywhere. So I think we bring our king across. And try and use the king to defend his side there. Actually, let's go here first, just in case of this. Rook across, I've got pawn up. But now I think I'm fine to step up. Actually, have I been a bit mistaken there? Here, down, just simply push the pawn. Yes, go here, just push the pawn, get behind it. If he comes forward. So push and threaten to push again. Maybe even rook across. But trade, he has still got a majority of pawns here. So it's not without some risk. Maybe I've got a pawn push here. I'll just gradually ease forward, just trying to create the two connected. But can I play a move like rook across and try and force the rook off the board? Like should he come forward, for instance? Here might be a bit of a risk, so it's kind of tempting now. Rook across, I could just push first though. But maybe here, to go here looks strong to me. I'm going to do that. I'm going to try and push here. Oh, yes, surely he's gone on the wrong one there. He might want to go here, but surely I can defend this side now. So I'm going to get the rook off if I can. And now I'm going to push and push. If he goes across, I think I can just run my pawn up. He's very low on time now. So I think I can just run the pawn. He's only got half a second anyway. So here, takes, just run. Let's just push the pawn. That's a very good turnaround win, isn't it? Excellent win.